So we're here in the very sunny village of Le Clusaz in France to tackle the Kilomètre Vertical, which is a 1 kilometre race up a mountain spread over 3.4 kilometres. I've seen a couple of clips of it on YouTube, and it seems to be a mixture of running, scrambling, hiking, using poles and such like. I haven't got any poles, so I'm just going to try and get up it as fast as I can using a combination of the other two things there. So the race is actually taking place on the mountain off to my right, which looks fairly foreboding in terms of the angle. It looks about kind of 30 to 35 degrees. Today I'm going to do a training session with a local running guide to get my legs ready for the race. He's run a lot of mountain races, so we have to give me some tips on kind of what to do when I'm on the course. He's going to do probably a series of intervals and a quick jog through some of the mountain trails to get ready.
So today I suggest we can have a specific training on short distance. So running 200 meters, climbing up about 30 meters. So it gives you an adaptation to the altitude and helps you to build up your breathing, your habit to breathe up in altitude. And we're gonna have 10 repetitions with 1 minute resting at the bottom. All right, let's go. It's very specific profile to be a mountain racer, to be at the top ranking people.
So the top guys will do it in about 25?
35. From bottom to top. It's an amazing ridge and with a single track on the top, and it gives you the feeling you're floating up over the Alps.
So I don't want to be going out at like sprint pace, I want to go at a pace I feel I could hold.
Feeling you can hold it and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
It's really designed for cross-country skiers. It's designed for cyclists, top cyclists. You need to have a lot of power in your legs, much more than a long distance run. You've got to be efficient all the way up.
I went much smaller steps on the way up.
Yeah.
Much smaller steps. Didn't really start getting any kind of real bad lactic flow until we got round the corner on the way up. Started just a little bit there.
Let's go. The muscles are under huge constraint, and the acid is coming very quickly. So you need to breathe, and you need to get used to the lack of oxygen, because you're climbing up. The higher you climb, the fewer oxygen you have. So it's had a big impact on your breathing. Did you have any remark about you evolved through that training?
What made me uncomfortable initially was I went out too fast first time, and I didn't realise it wasn't too fast for this, but it was too fast for once we got into the trees, because it's a lot steeper there. And so when I got in there, I just started the lactic build-up was worse, and I just was struggling to kind of keep any sort of pace up.
So you're going to keep up with those 3 variable keys, which is kinesthetic approach with the toes touching the ground, the breathing, keep up a good rhythm, and the vision, vision of yourself, the vision of you completing the competition. Some of the people may walk all the way, most of the way up.
Even like good level runners, they'll be doing some walking.
When it's really steep, I mean, you're more efficient walking.
So today we've been doing some training near the course route, which is behind me on the ridge. It runs up the right-hand side, up most of the side that you can see there. That's amongst the steepest parts of the race. It's pretty hard to replicate in training exactly what you'll go through during the race unless you ran the route, and we couldn't have access to that, so we just did some intervals on a nearby hill. Definitely made me realise how difficult it's going to be tomorrow to run on a steeper pitch for a much longer period of time, probably about 50 minutes to an hour. One of the organisers emailed me beforehand to say that I was going to enjoy it, but it's probably one of the hardest kind of short distance races I've ever done. And when I asked him to kind of clarify how difficult it was compared to, say, like a marathon, he said it was completely different, but I got the impression that it's probably, in other ways, not a great deal easier, if at all. Obviously today's session was really useful, but I think the bottom line is it's going to be really tough. I've just come to a doctor to get a checkup before I race. He's going to listen to my heart and check my pulse and get me to do a series of exercises to make sure that I'm race fit. Thank you very much. Cheers. So I've been to the doctor and it's official. I can do the Kilomètre Vertical. I'm going to go and have a restful day and prepare myself for a brutal hill climb. So the race is taking place in 4 hours and I'm feeling quite nervous now. I didn't get much sleep last night because there's an almighty thunderstorm and the room was quite hot. I don't really think that's going to have much bearing on the race once my adrenaline gets going. I'm at the kind of stage where I just really want to get it underway, get into it, get through it, have something to eat. So we just left the hotel and we're now making our way up to the race. I have no plans to do it in any set time. I did originally go, I'll arbitrarily set myself this kind of time, but it's pointless because I've never done a race like this, so I don't really know what to expect. You can see the course over there. It's hard to escape it. Every time I look at it, it looks steeper. But I won't have to look at it for too much longer because we're going to be on it shortly. So I've worked out that the kilometre vertical is probably the equivalent of running up Primrose Hill about 50 times, but with no kind of jog down to recover at any point. So I think my record for Primrose Hill is about 20 reps, which I've done kind of deep in marathon training. So I'm quite a long way off. Yeah, I'm going to try and not think about that whilst I'm doing it. So I've just finished the Kilometre Vertical. I did it at about 1 hour and 2 minutes, I think it was. It might have just been just under that, actually. It was really savagely difficult, and I ran about 200 metres. The rest of it was kind of a frog march / scramble. I readjusted my aims through the race. Like, I started out thinking, I want to run the whole thing. And after about 30 seconds, I realised that was just ridiculous. So ultimately, my aim was to just keep moving, to not stop. I felt like that was an achievement in the end. The views at the top are amazing. Like, you know, it does make it worthwhile doing. Like, the kind of reward of having this panorama. I don't think I've seen many kind of mountain vistas as stunning as this. I mean, it's really kind of soul-soaring stuff. I think I'll remember this forever, I would have thought.